My upcoming book, Evolve Your Coaching Business. I tell a story. It's on page 211. I'm going to read a little bit of it to you because this is the story of how I followed guidance. So I have it's strategy and soul for me all the time. So listening to guidance, but then taking really, really vulnerable but practical action. Okay, here's a little bit of the story. I tuned into my guidance and was very clear. What I was intended to do in my own language was to get in front of a room, get in front of people. Guidance said, get out there, Kat, talk to people. That's one of your greatest gifts, but I had so much resistance. So I took this advice, and in the book I say I moved from my comfy sofa to my office desk, and I started brainstorming about how I could get up in front of a room as a leader more often. If that was the number one marketing activity and what it was the guidance was telling me to do, I wanted to do it. And that brainstorming led me to another one of my favorite activities that I call manifesting, because I couldn't come up with anything concrete, but I felt this delight. I felt it when I thought of myself in front of the room as a leader. I put my full attention on this one thing and I tuned in to guidance. Now this may not be a usual business building activity. You might not think of that, but it is for me. It really is. So it's always worked for me when I really take a look at what is it that's my highest self, and how am I going to implement that? How am I going to activate that? So I got this hit about going to this business building event in Santa Barbara. And I was going there because my guidance was nudging me, but let me tell you, I was having a lot of resistance because I was putting myself in an uncomfortable position. I didn't know anybody at this networking event. And as I talk about in the book, it was big. I pulled into the parking lot. It was fancy. It was this big, fancy hotel. I had this moment when I was walking in the door when I thought, nobody would know if I just turned around and walked out. Who would care? Nobody, right? I almost walked away, but I felt that nudge from guidance. It felt like this is the right thing to do. And I didn't have to know why. I didn't have to know what was going to happen, right? So I tell this whole story in the book. I'm kind of paraphrasing it for you right now. Here's what happened. I'm going to get to the punchline. If you want to read the whole story, you can get my book December 7th. You can pre-order it right now. There's a link below to pre-order the book. You can go to my website. But here's what happened. I walked into that hotel room, big, lots of people, noisy, people laughing. And I was there for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes when I heard somebody call my name, Kat, Kat. I look over, there's my friend, Sally. Sally, who I had known well, good friends when I lived in Los Angeles. She came running over, gave me a hug, and she said, Kat, there's a networking group that I just started, and it's a national group, and you need to start your own. 5 minutes into that room, and I was getting guidance about how to get up in front of a room, how to be a leader in front of a room. I started that networking business. It catapulted my business forward in ways that are still going on after, I don't know, maybe it was 15 years ago. So if I can do it, you can do it too, right? So here's your kind of homework for the day. It is to take a moment, listen to that guidance, tune into your own guidance, and listen for where your guidance is nudging you that you want to put a strategy next to, right? So networking is a great big strategy, but the soul's guidance was just get up in front of a room, Kat. When you put those two things together, that's the sweet spot. I'm going to be focusing on that in my webinar, November 18th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to talk about putting soul and strategy together for you. I hope to see you there.